the only way for me I can express myself is like through shooting videos, creating like those kind of creative, crazy concepts.
Yeah.
Is there a place where you draw the line, or you just like I'm just doing my thing, man?
I'm just doing my thing. Yeah.
Because I'm guessing, you know what? I see like maybe in future, I see you writing like those crazy ass scripts that people are like, yo, man, do you write?
Yeah, I've started to write a little bit.
Yeah, I think you'd write like the most craziest scripts that people would be. And we always need that shock value at times, I guess, or I don't know.
Yeah.
But, I think we need it.
Shock
Just,
is good.
are you a fan of Game of Thrones?
Totally, man.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, at times we always need those kinds of things. And I think a lot of people forget to understand that that's what makes art.
Exactly, man. Like,
yeah.
And that's why I guess it was tough for me to, at the end of the day anyway, everyone has their own opinion and that's fine.
Yeah.
But like, it was hard for me to understand like the frustration, not understand the frustration, but rather like get why people were so mad with episode 3. And to me, it's like good writing subverts expectations.
Yep.
So we've already had an episode or two, Red Wedding and the one where Cersei blows up the crypt, where everyone dies.
Slaughter.
Why would they do that again?
Yeah.
You have to also think, like, these writers for 9 or so years have constantly pushed the envelope in terms of what the, TV making is, And
True.
so why would they disappoint you now?
Yeah.
In terms of subverting your expectations. They do what you need, not what you want. So you want, because the previous episode it was so happy, fine, the next episode everyone should die. That's too obvious, man.
Yeah.
And it's like, I will judge this season at the end. There's no way to judge it right now.
Right now we can't. But it's so unpredictable, man.
It is, and isn't that amazing?
It is.
Did you see Arya killing the Night King coming? Did you see that coming? I didn't see that coming.
No, because that's the thing,
Everyone expected Brienne to die.
Yeah.
Everyone expected Grey Worm to die. But that didn't happen.
Yeah. But I think that's what makes it special, because, like, even if you think about it right now, do you watch telly?
Yeah. Wait, as in
TV.
Television. Yeah, not really. But
Yeah. I exactly. No, I'm heading there.
Okay.
Do you watch Netflix, any specific shows?
Yeah, I watch Netflix.
But I think you can say that, how you used to consume like content on TV and even Netflix now, it's very selective. Like the attention span is like slightly like getting smaller and smaller.
Right.
So for somebody to sit down and watch a whole episode of like Game of Thrones, come on, bro. The writers are doing a good job,
dude.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And even though you're pissed off,
yeah,
you're still gonna watch the next one because you're invested. That's just the truth, and that shows that they've done a good job. Whether you're, I think that's the thing. Good writing will elicit any kind of reaction. If it's negative, that's good. If it's positive, that's good.
Yeah.
If you're ambivalent, if you're just like don't really care, then that's when you're failed.
Yeah.
But if it can stir up a kind of emotion in you, that's not like, okay, yeah, that was really trash.
Like even if you're upset, that just means like the directors and the writers did their job.
Yeah, and the actors as well.
Oh yeah, of course.
The whole crew. Like,
no.
There's a whole crew.
Most importantly, the actors.
Not most importantly.
Yeah.
Not most importantly.
I know why you're like, don't leave out the actors.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying, like,
give credit where it's like it's the whole team. It's the whole team. Yeah, it's the whole team.
For sure.
Even special effects. Let's not forget those guys,
man,
that you don't see behind the camera.
Man. Yeah,
exactly. So just since we're talking about like that context of just people involved in the industry and just creating bring all these things to life.
Yeah.
A few years ago, you were also like fortunate to be just hang around Oscars and meet all these guys. And I think after that, consistently, you've always been bumping into people who are like in mainstream, right?
Right.
Yeah, come on, not everybody gets to hang out with Snoop, bro.
No, for sure.
Come on.
Yeah, of
Come
course.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, not everybody gets to do that. But what would you say is like the one thing that you've noticed like is very common in these people? Because I hear like a lot of people who are successful in either mainstream or whether it's music, whether it's acting, like they kind of like you'd notice something to do with maybe their drive, their energy. What's the one thing that you'd say you've noticed like in a lot of people just who are in those positions like have?
I mean, I think everyone is different, man.
Different?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I can't really say that there's something consistent that I have observed. And because also when I'm in those spaces, I'm not really like switched on in terms of, hey, let me see what I can get from this person. Whether it's like a word of advice or whatever. I mean,
I'd know what I'd want to get from Snoop.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Which, you know what I mean? Like we're not.
Yeah.
I'm in a casual relationship with these.
You won't be in that moment and actually just
Yeah. Like, yeah. It's not like I'm. Yeah. Exactly.
That's a nice way of summarizing it, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, it makes sense because
I mean, everyone has their own unique thing that you
Yeah.
know. I guess the common thing is that there's this magnetism. You know, the people are drawn towards people because they're living life authentically. You know.
or just being themselves.
Yeah.
You don't see anybody trying too much to be.
Yeah. Totally,
Okay.
man.
And
I think authenticity is a very admirable trait and something that's not easy. It's not.
yeah, it's not
easy to be just comfortable in who you are. You know?
especially like in this social media era, man.
Yeah.
Like because we can't pretend that it doesn't get to people. You see, like even so many people from like even local presenters, international people, news anchors, and everything going just through like all these little cyberbullying and
Yeah.
just comments. Do those kind of things like get to you? Like how do you balance, let's say, your social? Yeah, let's talk social media.
Okay.
How do you just know how to detach yourself from like the bullshit when it's coming your way?
One,
Yeah.
none of it is real.
Oh yeah. Social media is a lie.
No, it's not that it's a lie. It's just not real. It tells a very, very minute part of life. You know.
Yeah.
And so, literally, the minute your phone is down, none of it is real. Like the only thing that matters is the person in front of you. Right now, in this moment, you're the only thing that matters to me. Like this doesn't matter. This here, it really doesn't. You know, like 140 characters or whatever it is on Twitter now. That doesn't matter. Communication is way more than words. Communication is way more than pictures.
True.
You know? And so, I know someone sending me a comment, or stop this nonsense.
Look at the face you're making, bro.
No, it's true though. Like it's like I can just picture him like,
They're upset.
like,
Yeah.
dude, who are you? I'm never gonna see you in my life. Why should I care about what you say? You know.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, dude, like, even, it's funny that, of course, like, when you say that in your research, you're going through my pictures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's just what I want to tell you.
It's highlights, just like
highlights.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Few specific times that you just want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like, we have to just remember that. It's a blog. It's a poster of things. It's not the whole picture, It's just like a corner of it.
Yeah.
So, that's how I just deal with it. I just like, look, don't take any of this seriously.
You don't pay attention. Do you ever get to a point where you're, like, let's say, comparing your success to anybody else's success?
We all do that.
I think
we all do that.
We all do that.
We all do that.
Why are you speaking for other people, man?
No, we all do that. That's just a fact. Like, we all compare ourselves at some point. You know? Whether you're consciously doing it or not is another thing.
Yeah.
We all do that.
That's
you're not responsible for your first thought, but you are for your second.
True.
When a plane passes by, like, of course you're gonna look up. But whether you keep your eyes there is another thing, you know. So I guess the same thing. Like, if you find yourself comparing yourself to someone or whatever, in that brief second, that's a natural human thing, and we're conditioned with that, you know. Followers, posts, number of likes, we're numbers people. You know? That's how we work. So of course that's natural. But whether or not you stay on thinking about that, that's your responsibility. And I try not to, you know.
Yeah, but that's why, like, now brings me to that question, like, how do you find yourself, like, just not getting, like, submerged in that, like, just wave of constantly just, you know, when you're doing this comparison thing, how do you detach yourself from just being, like, you know, depressed and that? Because we're in this whole age where, like, everybody's, like, just getting stressed the fuck out because of course social media.
Social media, the economy or whatever,
everything.
It's tough, man.
So how do you detach from that? I'm just trying, like, how do you people,
relationships, man, like
women?
No. I mean, like, relating, you know, like actually relating, like.
Yeah, when I say women,
interacting.
It's not that I say that you go sleeping out. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying, you know. Could see how you dismiss that quick, like, yo, no, hell no. There are some people who, like, prefer, they take it out, like, on exercising, meditation,
totally.
Those kind of things.
You know, keeping busy, not for the sake of keeping busy, but, like, just nourishing your soul. What are the things that bring you joy? You know, whether, like you said, exercising or, you know, joining a club that does something that you're interested. You know, like, things that will just, like, keep your compass aligned with where you're trying to go. You know, and stuff.
True.
Yeah.
And then another just common thing that's happening right now, and I just wanted to run it by you. Do you think, like, the boy child is almost being neglected right now with all this feminist movement,
well, the thing
women
about
empowerment
feminism
programs? The
thing about feminism is that feminism essentially is for all. To be a feminist is to be a human being. You know, it's not exclusively talking about women. Feminism is
some people will come out with different opinions. I'll post that snippet especially.
I mean, it's true. Feminism is about everyone. That's what women are trying to say, is that, like, it's just keeping women on an equal playing field with everyone. It's uplifting everyone, you know? The same way being you know, pro-black is to be pro-human in all these things, you know? Being you know, gender sensitive is to being sensitive to everyone, you know. It's not exclusionary, it's inclusionary. I mean, at the core of it. And so I believe that the more that we just consistently show compassion for one another, and that's why I say put the phone down, dude, because none of this stuff matters. You see, the way you're speaking about this, you know, is in very, like, bite-sized things, you know. When you think about the whole ethos of these movements that are happening, that the core of them is relationships, you know, understanding and empathizing with each other, being compassionate. That's all, you know. Because even right now, when you take this clip or whatever that you're saying and put it completely, you know, people will view that out of context and make a conclusion about certain things. You know what I'm saying? And that's fine. Like, dude, that's just the nature of the game. You know? And obviously, I know you have enough compassion that you wouldn't, like, distort my words or whatever.
Come on, bro.
Of course. That's what I'm just saying, is that people operate in these bite-sized moments when actually it's a whole you have to take in context a whole picture. You know? People see feminism and just see that word that's now loaded and charged with so much angst and negativity, when actually the movement itself is something that is for everyone, you know? Because to uplift women is to uplift everyone. That's just the truth.
And it's just because my I saw this thing online, and somebody was saying like it's gotten to a point where, with that misinterpretation, it's sort almost like the agenda is almost like making men not be men anymore.
What do you mean?
Like
What is it to be a man?
making it let me find the right words, man.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm just talking in terms of, how can I explain this? Basically, that is there such a thing as men being men?
What does it mean to be a man?
Macho, man, strong,
No.
a protector and provider. Anybody comes close to the house, you smash them out and just, the archaic caveman. I mean, is that like the epitome of being a man?
No.
Because I think right now we're being softened too much.
Softened.
So, yeah, if that's the word I can use.
I mean, that's so sad that you would equate,
Yeah.
not you personally,
Yeah.
but just like that people would equate having empathy and connection with being soft. As if being soft is negative,
Like it's not a bad thing as well.
Anything that requires you to be, more connected to another human being is only an addition.
True.
Because what you're describing is very much a distancing thing, being macho, having a guard, having a gate, being the protector, the provider. I mean, those are good things, but they very much so come with a wall, You can be all those things while also being open. Yeah, and
that's what you see like on Game of Thrones. If they want to portray a strong man, what kind of character would they?
But even look at John, man.
Apart
He's
from the
so
empathetic.
empathetic.
Apart from the psychos, though, there are some small exceptions where they bring out this character who's just crazy. You're like, there's no way a human being is supposed to be like this.
Like who? Like Bolton, Ramsey Bolton.
Exactly. They're just those special
But they're
characters. You're like,
But those people exist. Those people are out there, man.
True.
Yeah, but like even look at the titular protagonist, Jon Snow.
Yeah.
A complete empathetic human being. Someone who's all about the people, and people now call him soft because he's not doing so and so. I mean, this entire show, even though it's extremely like, in terms of the context and the time it's written in, very misogynistic.
Yeah.
All the heroes of that show are women.
Yeah.
All the people who've constantly like come to John's, like savior. If you look at Ygritte, way back when. If you look at Daenerys, if you look at Sansa, who's grown into herself. If you now look at Arya, Sansa came to at the Battle of the Bastards. Without her bringing the Knights with the Veil, Jon would have died. Arya, without her killing the Night King, he would have died. He was about to be chomad by that dragon, man. So even though the show and the world in which he's living is very misogynistic, the show itself is very feminist because it.
Yeah, if you think about it and just take a step back,
all the heroes, even Cersei. As much as we hate her, like
the most dominant ones actually
the most dominant people in that show are actually women. Brienne of Tarth.
True. Because since we're just on that topic as well, just what are your thoughts on now there's just an increase in bringing awareness to toxic masculinity?
Yeah.
Kind of. What are your thoughts on that? Is it necessary?
Absolutely. I mean, look, man, just in the beginning of this year alone, how many women in this country have been killed because of toxic masculinity? That's like huge case of femicide going on right now.
True.
And that's not something that we can just not address. There has to be and that is because here's the thing, and this brings me back to the whole thing of being macho and blah blah blah. For so long, boys are told that they can't cry, that they can't show affection if it's not romantic.
Do you cry?
Of course I cry, man.
You do?
Of course.
can you at least post something on Instagram so
About
that
me
before
crying.
no listen, so that before this episode comes out, I kind of connect to people when I'm talking about this when I post that snippet.
Of me crying.
Yes.
I'm an actor, of course I cry, man. I have to be in touch with my emotions.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, you know, boys are told not to cry. Boys are told that they can't show affection if it's not romantic or violent. They can't show there's no physical contact with another human being unless it's romantic, sexual, or violent, right? And what does that manifest itself as? Pent up, right? You're told you can't cry. That is unmanly to cry.
Yeah.
You're a human being. Of course you have to cry, you know? And so that manifests itself violently. When also...
keeping it in too much.
Exactly.
I think that's why people are like just killing women now in the country, and people making fun of it.
And that's extremely sad, you know? You tell a man he can't cry and can't place all these emotions when, you know, this guy's going through all these things in a day, and then he has nowhere to put it. So what does he do? He manifests that in, you know, hitting a woman, you know, and that's like crazy. And so the only times you see a man showing physical contact, that's why violence and sex is so...
They're almost like,
Exactly, because in sport is the closest, and that's why sport is close to, because sport is close to war. You know, and so that's when you can see a man be emotional, crying in a football game. You know, holding each other, holding. But you put that outside in just the normal world. A guy can't do that to another guy. I can't hold your hand. This is seen as weird. You know, when that's so crazy. Like, we need physical contact that's not violent or sexual.
It's funny thing you've brought that up, and what was the story I wanted to say? Up country, like in the shags and everything. It's very common to
see guys holding hands.
And walking. So I remember, where was I? And also like a lot of Somali guys are comfortable, like, you know, just, you know, that's how they just show and express their emotions. Of course, for me, I went to boarding school at a very young age.
Right.
So I've just been conditioned slightly differently.
I also went to boarding school.
But no, I understand, because I'm aware of like how things are operating and everything. And I just know difference in cultures, people I interact with. And I think even from boarding school, I've learned like everybody is different, coming from different communities.
Yeah.
So I remembered where were we? Were we in... I think somewhere, I can't remember specifically where, but one of my friends told me that, why are those guys holding hands? Must be gay.
Wow.
And I was like, bro, come on. Just because they're holding hands, that means nothing.
Dude.
That means nothing. Come on.
And also, if they're gay, so the fuck what, bro?
I know
it gets. It's like the first step. This first step is, dude, they're just holding hands. Why the hell do you care? And then the second step is, okay, and so if they're gay, like, what is that? An insult? Are you insulting them now?
It's you know, because you will always get a headache if you try and start explaining these things to,
of course,
people who
have been brought up in that way.
It's hard.
And then,
it's
then
like
you're robbing,
and
then it's sad because you're now robbing, like, yourself. You know, of these opportunities by completely closing yourself off to the possibility that you can have a friend. And you know what? Sometimes the best way to express yourself is not through words or anything, but just holding the person's hand, you know, or giving them a hug. I can't imagine going through life without me not being able to hug my male friends. That's so sad to me, you know. How can I reserve only my hugs for my mom, my girlfriend, and my sisters, and like my female friend? Like, that's sad, man. I don't want to be friends with.
I'll give her, because here's the craziest thing. So I went to South Sudan. Sorry to cut you off. Like, remember I told you, like, you know, my chain of thought just disappears like that. So I went to South Sudan, my first time there and everything. So you see, like, first of all, I'm like a dwarf there. Everybody else is super like tall, and dark.
Even though you're like, what, 6 foot, right?
Come on, I'm not 6, bro.
Are you taller than me?
Maybe.
I think so.
Are we?
I mean, I'm 5'10".
Okay, I'm almost there, I guess, as well.
Okay.
Probably the same height, or I'm slightly taller.
Anyway, random.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
So in South Sudan. So first of all, I hadn't had like any interactions with like just a whole South Sudan community.
Yeah.
So first time there, eating the food is slightly different, but super, super nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then every single day, like, you know, my client was taking me to different places to meet people because they live in large communities.
Yeah.
Everybody I was going to say hi to, they were actually giving me a hug.
Yeah.
And talking about guys.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not used to being hugged with so many men. Like,
yeah.
by the time I was leaving that place, I was like, yo, bro, like these people are showing me so much love, man.
For sure.
Like, do my friends even love me in Nairobi, first of all?
Straight up.
It was like very strange to me the first 2 days, but it's because like that's just not what I experienced but that's how like they just show love, like, yo, what's up, how are you guys? Like they give you a hug, and then now the unfortunate part is like they're all tall, man.
Yeah.
So now in my head I'm like, yo, now I'll just look like they are always hugging these small girls that I have, like, you know, in Nairobi.
Yeah.
Like, it was weird the first 2 days because I wasn't used to it, but yo, like I like those people are so affectionate. Even that thing of holding hands and everything, I think that's when I just remember like it's super common in the community.
Yeah.
Super loving, they show empathy, compassion, and that's the other thing as well, like they really express themselves. Yeah. And of course when it's time to fight as well, you know, it goes down in the clubs as well.
And I think of course and I think the thing that can help people now today in like 21st century 2019 men, you know, have more compassion, especially on an online space, is following people outside of your echo chamber. You know, following people outside of your perspective, seeking out different perspectives. You know, because all we have on our Instagrams, our Twitters, whatever, is just people who think like us.
True.
You know? And so if we make an effort to seek out other people, you know, from the margins of society, you know, people that are part of the LGBTQIA, you know, women, writers and stuff like that, academics, people, authorities, and you know, for people who don't think like you can see the world in a different way, you know. And obviously travel is another way, obviously, like you said, to broaden your horizon.
It definitely does.
Absolutely. Because you're exposed to different cultures and you realize, wow, man, you know, there's another way to be. I don't just have to be this obstinate, you know, closed off dude, you know. And I think a part of that is men speaking to each other more. Guys don't speak.
You know, funny thing. A lot of people have been asking me, sorry to cut you off, you'll finish that. A lot of people have been asking me like, yo, how comes you're not featured? Because when I started off like the podcast, not a lot of guys were coming to the platform. And then a lot of people kept on complaining like, yo, how comes you're not featuring any guys like on the podcast? I'm like, yo, bro, nobody wants to come to the podcast because we're just going to have real conversations. Because now we can't talk about just tits and ass like for a whole 1.5
hours, man.
No, it's not possible. We need to talk about just like real life conversations, dreams, aspirations. And that's what, since you've mentioned that, you'll notice like there are a lot of women empowerment programs. They're always meeting on a weekly basis, talking about relationships, finances, career goals, and all these things.
And that's we don't.
But
talk
about men,
that.
when was the last time? Like you
had, you know, one of the things that, you know, how I told you, I'm just here like trying to figure things out and stuff. But one of the things I knew that I wanted to start when I came back, and obviously this episode's coming out in December, so hopefully it's off the ground before then. But I wanted to start a book club for men.
Yeah, it would be dope. Okay, first of all, I don't read though.
I know a lot of guys don't read, and I think that for me, I find having these sort of conversations and stuff is very difficult for guys.
It is.
But if you have something to broach that gap, like a catalyst kind of,
Yeah.
it would really help. And
Yeah.
so I've never heard of a book club for guys, because guys just don't read,
Yeah.
which is like crazy. Because I'm
insane.
also
It's
not an
insane.
avid reader, but like reading is like the best gateway to understand someone else's perspective, you know. And so I wanted to start a book club for men, and then have that as like a springboard, like in the discussions and stuff like that, just to talk about real stuff.
Like, man, now, I mean, it's necessary.
Yeah, because like that's the
It's
thing. It's like
necessary.
guys are not talking to each other. They might talk to their girlfriends or their female friends or whatever, but
Yeah.
guys are not talking to each other about like this real shit. Like, why the hell are we killing women, man? Why are we killing women?
We
Like,
don't have to. Like, it doesn't.
don't
In
have
fact,
to.
first of all,
If-
it doesn't
if-
make any sense.
If you buy a girl a drink at the club, dude, and she doesn't want to go home with you,
Yeah.
that's not on you, man. Like,
There's nothing you can do, bro.
you bought her the drink. That's it. That's the end of the of the whatever. You know, it's not like a transaction. You know what I'm saying? There's no need for you to kill her. There's no need.
Yeah, true.
But it's because of all this suppressed, unpent, like anger, because there's no place to put it. That's the problem.
It's very true, because if you think about it, in what social setting have you ever been? And the last time, like, you actually had that kind of conversation, like, with a friend, like, yo, how's your girlfriend doing? Are things good about your relationships?
Yeah.
How your finances? What do you have going on business-wise?
Yeah.
Do you remember the last time you had, like, that kind of conversation in a social setting?
Oh, not in a social setting. I mean, I have that with my friends, you know, all the time.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Man, I need new friends, man.
You do. I can be your friend.
We are friends now.
can be
We're
your
already
friend.
friends, man.
No, but for real, like, you
But
know.
it's really necessary,
It
because,
is.
like the way you've said, it's suppressed and it's not there.
So would you be interested in joining my book club
Yes.
if I started it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like reading, but I can do, like, you know, as long as you don't have like crazy like targets, like we need to read like 60 pages, man. I don't have that. But they're audiobooks though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I was just thinking,
That I
like,
can,
you know,
that I can clock out, like, and listen to a whole.
if it's like a weekly meetup and it's like a chapter a week, and then we discuss the chapter. I think that's
I think it makes
that's
sense.
that's a reasonable target, man. You
It-
know, and it's
it's-
also just like commitment. I think making a commitment outside of your work,
regular,
football,
yeah,
going out, just making a commitment
yeah.
is a huge thing. And I only want to do it with people who would be just like down to just make a commitment
Yeah.
and actually have these you know, these talks and stuff.
Talks, and I remember somebody brought it up. When was it? Like, you'd find like just a group of men. You're like 7, 8, or 10 people, and you don't even realize like the power you have, because when you're there, you're just scared of being either vulnerable,
yeah.
or just talking about something.
There's
Because
so much strength
it's
in
crazy.
vulnerability, man.
Yeah.
So much strength.
you find people like, yo, like, even when it comes to just any situation, like 10 great minds, but all of you
Are
just
closed up.
choose
Yeah.
not to talk about something that can be beneficial to one or two of you.
Yeah.
You're seeing your friend going through something, you don't want to tell them like, yo, bro, you know, we can actually help you out, and, you know, are you trying to figure this and this out? How's your music going? Do you think you can approach it this or that way? And like, it got to a point where I was saying like, I don't think even now, like, just men in general are taking each other seriously anymore.
Yeah.
And that's being painted to the kids don't take men seriously anymore. I mean, I don't say that, I'm not saying that a man has to be respected, like in, okay, basically we should all respect each other. But I think even now, like, if you see online how people like just in general even address like our leaders. Yo, you see somebody like tweeting the president and like just trash talking them. It's like they're.
Well, it's because
It's
the
like-
president is a dumbass.
No, listen. I know, but I'm just saying.
And no, for sure.
I'm just saying we shouldn't, because we already have like that, those differences as just men. We're still trying to figure out how we're going to play, advise each other, and
yeah.
just be successful. As much as, you know, not everybody, like, Trump is the president in States, right?
Yeah,
And won't people have like the same opinion about him?
of course.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, don't you see like a theme of like just men being mocked and not
Yeah, it's
being
'cause
taken
men are
seriously
dumb.
in any way?
Because we're dumb. That's just the truth. Like, it's a fact. We're stupid as hell, man. Women should run this planet. If women were in
Hey,
charge of things,
Hey, listen, I don't know about that.
dude. If women went, this is my opinion, and
Yeah,
you can differ. That's fine.
Yeah,
If women were in charge of things,
yeah.
things would run a lot smoother.
We'd have more order and
Absolutely, absolutely, 100%. Not a doubt in my mind.
it's true. Let's give it like, baby steps. We might just get there, and then